So today we're going to be talking about specifically why 99% of people with ADHD never make supplements work because of this very reason. And I see this time and time again. I'm going to talk about like four main mistakes that people typically make, and so that you don't make the same mistakes like most people do with ADHD when it comes to supplement taking. So the very first mistake is when people are trying to go more of a natural route in taking different things other than medication for their ADHD, they are looking into supplements. The problem is there's a lot of information out there. And when there's a lot of information out there, it makes it very difficult to know what's working, what doesn't work. And so then you just try all of them. So you might be like, should I try the green one? Should I try the blue or the red? But you decide, okay, why don't I just try all of them? And this is a very big mistake because it can make things worse, but also you're just going at it completely blind. Imagine if we took medications the same way. If we just randomly just decided to take any medication on our own without any kind of direction of what to do. And this is the very first big mistake that I see people with ADHD will do. And they're like, okay, natural treatment doesn't work. Supplementation doesn't work for me because I have not seen it very effective. And that's because you're going completely blind instead of doing investigative work. So this is the second mistake that people will do, is because they're trying different supplements, they do not, let me go switch this over here. They do not test first. If you don't test first to see what you're deficient in, how do you know what to actually take? Because if you take something like, I don't know, iron, tyrosine, like any kind of supplement, how do you know if you actually need to take it if you're not deficient in it? And you don't know if you need to take it if you haven't tested first. This is like the biggest thing that I see as a big mistake that most people do, is that they just try different supplements, hope them for the best, shooting in the dark, and then they find out getting results because you got to test first. And it could be several different things that you need to test depending on the person. This is what I do, is like I like to look at the medical history to see, okay, what do we need to test? What labs do we need to look at? Do we need to test different amino acids or different micronutrients to identify what vitamins or amino acids that you need to take if you are deficient in it, just like this person was, right? Do you need to take phosphatidylserine? Do you need to take other different iron, vitamin D, vitamin A, E, all the different B vitamins? Do you need to take that? The only way to know that is if you actually do test for it first, okay? Or when it comes to different also neurotransmitters that might be off, do you need to be taking even a medication in the first place? Are you deficient in it? Or are you someone that has where it might be elevated, where that could be an issue too? If that's the case, maybe you don't take it. Maybe you need to first test first to see what do you need, because treatment is always going to be different whether it's high or when it's high or whether it's low. Treatment will be different because when you're looking at different neurotransmitter pathways, sometimes it might be a serotonin problem, but it might not be. Sometimes it might be a dopamine problem, but it might not be. But is it very specific to dopamine, or is it specific to different amino acids and excitatory neurotransmitters that could be off? You don't really know until you've actually investigated and tested for that. Okay. So, like I said, like you could see here that showing these different tests, these are just different case studies of actual patients that I've worked with and had opposite different results. Not results, sorry, opposite test results. So in this case, it was high. In other cases, it was low. So if we treated every ADHD person the same, you're not going to get the same result. In fact, it can be worse for some and better for others, or absolutely do nothing for you. And that's because you can't expect every supplement is going to be the same for every ADHD person, because everyone has individual needs. Everyone has different medical backgrounds, different things in their life that are causing to be deficient or elevated. So this is like probably one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're trying to use supplements to work for their natural treatment. Okay. The other mistake is that like people think it might be just only has to do with the brain chemistry. Maybe it's just dopamine. But the other thing to this is that it can be also different hormones that could be contributing to this. This is why it's important to look at other labs that will help you identify what supplements will be very effective and not just tackling at it just for the brain, but it could be other parts of the body that also need support too. So this is why it's important to look at other different tests other than just looking at the brain. Okay. The third mistake that a lot of people do is that they think supplements is all you have to do, like when it comes to natural treatment. And I'll tell you, supplements are great. They can be very effective, especially if you do test first, and then you can pinpoint what do you need to you actually take and the dosages to support that. However, supplements are really just the stepping stone to get things started. It really comes down to still the very essential things, such as replacing supplements with food, getting your nutrients and vitamins, everything like that from your food source that is going to give you the long-term results that you're looking for. Plus, also exercise, good sleep, hydration, eliminating stressors. And, as far as just like a variety of all the different macronutrients that you need to be implement on a regular basis, building good routines and systems. And yes, that does take time. That's why supplements can be very helpful initially, but over time, you need to start replacing the supplements. Okay. The fourth mistake that I also do see is not getting rid of stressors in your life. Even when you find that there is deficiencies going on with labs, you still have to eliminate a lot of things that are sabotaging your health. If you have major stressors in your life, like a relationship or work environment or some tragic thing that's happening and it's constantly sabotaging your health, that needs to be the priority. Every time. That needs to be the priority of eliminating that. Otherwise, it makes it very difficult to allow the supplements to really be effective. And so this is something that I'll work with my patients first. Is like, we need to start eliminating those things in your life so that the treatment that we're giving you can be effective. And that is so key, because if you have tried different supplements and even are eating good, you're exercising, you're doing all the right things, but you're still not getting well, it's probably because there's major stress in your life that is contributing to your health situation, making it worse and not allowing your body to heal. And it is so vital to making sure that you do that. Okay. So that is really the big mistakes that I see, if why you might find that supplements or just natural treatment is not working for you. And if you want my help, I'd love to help you out. The very first step would just be booking a consultation. You can find that in the description below to purchase and book that first consultation with me so that I can help you out further to identify the root causes of your ADHD problems. But more importantly, I look at the investigative types of labs that we need to do to identify the root causes so that you can have that optimal focus mind. So again, you can do that in the description below. Thank you guys so much for attending, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Thanks. Bye.